Today, we're talking about how quickly power can shift between Washington and internationally in the last 48 to 72 hours. Okay, we've seen major cabinet shakeups, with Kristi Noem leaving the Department of Homeland Security. And at the same time, we see this Iran conflict get deeper, and people are reshaping alliances throughout the Middle East, and it's getting really interesting to say the least. Okay, so these two stories we are speaking about today actually connects the both issues, and reveals how pressure, power, and global strategy are moving right now. And it is just out of this world. Okay, before we begin, hey guys, I'm Jovi, and welcome back to Pretty is Political. All right, your girl is tired. If you can't see it all up in my face, I am tired. Okay, but I'm here. I was up late, all right, but I was like, because this story, we have to get to this today. So, if you do not know, okay, yesterday Donald Trump fired Kristi Noem, who was the director of Homeland Security. He did give her another position. We'll get into that later. So there's been a bunch of mounting controversy lately. It's been controversy, for the longest. Okay, we all know about all the ICE incidents that occurred. There is also a discussion about how much was it, $220 million used for an advertising campaign, I guess, to promote ICE, right? And let me make sure that's what that campaign was for. It was, I think it was to promote ICE, and Noam basically said she got permission from Orangina, and Orangina said, I ain't give her permission to spend $220 million on no advertising campaign. Plus, there's talk about Noam using these private jets that they've allegedly purchased to, transfer people, migrants from the United States to other places in the world, right? But they were showing pictures of one plane that like literally still looks like a private jet with a bedroom. It was a whole freaking thing. Okay, it was ridiculous. Okay, like I said, the fatal shootings that have occurred all over this country, the $220 million advertisement campaign, plus the aggressive enforcement agencies' reaction. Noam is in charge of that. Okay, so again, like, listen, she's the woman. And one thing I don't understand, I never understand about Republican women, they don't see that even though they might be the right color for the foolishness, they're not the right sex. Okay, and as a woman, they're gonna throw you under the bus every fucking time. Okay, so Orangina nominated Senator Mark Wayne Mullen to replace her as Department of Homeland Security Secretary, which I find insane but interesting. Okay, if you don't know, Mark Wayne Mullen, again, he's a senator, and he seems to be a little sorry. Hold on. Hold up. That's my mother calling. Let me just let her know I'll call her back. All right. Sorry. He seems to be a little slow, but you know what? That might be for the best because he can't seem to keep track of anything. And he's just one of those men that just says things and, he think he's smart. So he just gonna speak, but then he puts his foot in his mouth. So him being a replacement for Kristi Noem's is fucking amazing and ingenious. Okay. Also, I think that Noem's is really in a position where she might actually face charges now. Okay. because it's kind of perjury, right? You're there speaking at the Insight Committee. You're speaking with them, and you're saying that that Orangina approved so and so, and you're making excuses and you're being difficult and you're doing all of this shit, and then DT tossed you to the side and said, "No, she lying. That's not the truth." So now they can press charges against you, and the person you were lying for, okay, who just fired you and said that you were a liar, okay, would have to turn around and say, no, he was lying for her to get out of potential charges. I find this amazing. I find it fantastic. And I cannot wait to see how that works out for her. Okay, listen, it is what it is. It is what it is. And like I said, the oversight committee hearing has been really aggressive, really nasty, completely out of this world. And again, what do we expect from these people? Okay. So like I said, he nominated Mark Wayne Mullen, who's a little slow. He's the one that early in this week was like, yeah, we at war. And then when they were like, wait, what? He was like, no, they started a war with us. He, just like I said, some of these men just spew. All you got to do is shut up and let them talk. I keep telling you, in real life, on this political shit, all you got to do is shut up and let these men hang themselves, because they're going to talk themselves into a felony every freaking time. They're going to talk themselves into a felony every freaking time. And I love that for them. Okay. So again, Noem is being reassigned, right, to a new division. It's called, it's a special envoy, and it's called Shield of the Americas. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means. What is it? An army force for the Americas? Because Canada really fucking with you. Because the Mexicans really fucking with you. Because the Latin Americans really fucking with you. I'm confused. But okay. They be really trying to name things like we're in a Marvel movie. We're not in a Marvel movie. It feels like we're in a Marvel movie, but we're not in a Marvel movie, okay? So again, this is because it happened a lot last time, but this is the first cabinet level firing of the second term, okay? So it's getting serious. Again, if we recall correctly, last term, people were getting, he was chopping people like every week, every other week, numerous people a week. You know, we're what, a year and change in, and this is the first firing. It is not lost on me that it is a woman. Okay, so I can't wait for the rest of them to get up out of here. So again, we've talking about the congressional hearings that are happening. There are a lot of hearings. This is a lot of testimony. They gathering all the information. So when it's time to drop that hammer, and when it's time to really put people in internment camps, they have all the information. Okay. So again, they were sharply criticizing DHS leadership, which they need to do what they need to do. These people want to play stupid games. They're gonna win stupid prizes. Okay. A lot of lawmakers, like I told you all before about the private jets, about this advertising campaign, about the $1 trillion we spend on military, but we don't seem to have enough weapons a week into a war. Okay. These things are all being put under questioning. The lawmakers, the Congress people, they're questioning the spending decisions and the money management of it all. Because if you know anything about America, you get them with the taxes. Okay. You get them with the money. They even discussed impeachment proceedings against Noem, but Orangina beat them to it and fired her. Okay. They also said again, and I've told y'all this before, changes in leadership, even though she's fired, we have to remember with the DHS, with the IRS, with the FBI, with every governmental entity out there right now, every American governmental entity out there, the people who were best at their jobs were fired or either quit. So we're sitting up with a bunch of people who are not equipped for these positions. We're sitting up with tons of people who are not equipped or have the know-it-all to actually do the jobs that they were hired to do. Okay, so they're fucking up all over the place. All right, all over the place. Child, we gonna need years to dig our way out of the foolishness that these people have created. Okay. So yeah, that's going on with the congressional hearings. Again, Noem was fired or moved to a new position, whatever they want to call it. She ain't there no more. I'm just happy that they are at least attempting to do something and gathering all this information and letting them put their foot in their mouths. And at the end of this, if people are still able to, because who knows how this is going to end, but at the end of this, hopefully these trial recordings will be used against them. The punishment for treason and espionage is blank. You know. Anywho, let's continue. So we're gonna move on to, I'm trying to keep time because I know I have my class at noon. We're moving on to the situation between the USA and Iran. I've been watching a lot of these creators who are in the Middle East. They are running for their lives. Okay, I'm starting to think that Dubai is paying the creators who live out there to lie for them. Okay. Dubai is telling people, and I get it, they're shooting down missiles, okay, but anyone can come in. People are saying the missile parts are dropping from the skies. It's scary. They're in hotels. I saw one guy, he freaking traveled. He's traveling borders and trying to do all of this shit to get to an area where he could take a plane. It is bananas out there, okay? The Iranians told the Africans, we ain't fucking with y'all. Like, giant, please, y'all ain't got nothing to worry. Kenya thought they was gonna pop shit because they them coons over there. They them coons over there. Okay, Kenya thought they was gonna pop. Iran was like, listen, we ain't got no drama with y'all. Okay, but if you have a military, if you have an American military structure, we're bombing it, but we ain't got no problem with y'all, period. Okay. And from what it looks like, so a missile was shot at Turkey. They're attempting to say that Iran shot a missile at Turkey. You heard me say them, right? Iran is like, we ain't shoot no missile at y'all. Turkey shot the missile down. Was like, hey, we don't want no parts of this, because I don't think there is America. I think the Turkish people kicked America's military out of their land. Don't hold me to it, but I think they did. And Turkey a big badass, and Iran was like, no, we ain't do that. So it's looking like the USA might have tried to cause an issue with Turkey and Iran and distract from the fact that they're apparently getting their ass kicked out over there, okay? The Iranians allegedly are blowing everything the fuck up. Spain, I already told y'all, Spain is the country right before you get to Africa. If you know Middle East, the Middle East is in Africa. Spain is the first European country you get to before you can get into Africa and to the Middle East or whatever. Spain was like to the USA, y'all can't put y'all planes here. Remember when y'all president was talking about we don't need NATO? And you start a war. You see why you needed NATO? Spain was like, you ain't even a part of NATO. We not in this. I named Bennett. We ain't in it. Okay. The Kurds, they the U.S. trying to tap the Kurds in. The Kurds is like, we want no parts of this. Turkey was like, you know what? We believe you, Iran. Turkey said, we believe Iran ain't fucking with us because Iran ain't got no beef with us. Iran is coming for you, okay? And then y'all president was out here talking about this might last a couple more weeks and months, okay? I think it might fuck around and last a couple of years. From what I read, I think it said Orangina has stated that negotiations with Iran would require unconditional surrender. So basically, Iran needs to lay down and die. Iran needs to just lay down and die. And Iran ain't going to do that. Iran ain't going to do that. And the Dubais of those nations, the UAEs, and, you know, all of those people who are down with the colonizers, to speak, so to speak, they gonna get down or they gonna lay down because everybody else surrounding them apparently know what's up. And it's two against the world at this point. I am not I would not be surprised if I woke up tomorrow morning, Sunday morning, Wednesday, I don't know, and find out that Russia done bombed Alaska or something like that. Like, we are literally two on our own, okay? And because the Iranian drones, I told you all about the brain drain that they did here, okay? So the Iranians have a lot of them Russian drones, okay? Them Chinese, them Russian drones. And I guess the Ukrainians, you know, the same people that they was making fun of, the Ukrainians figured out a way to, I guess, detect and lock onto the drones per se, you know, so they could blow them up or whatever. So now Orangina was out here trying to low-key beg old boy over there in the Ukraine for the information on, you know, how to get past this drone system. Old boy over there put that shit on the news, was like, oh yeah, they want our help. Remind you that he was playing. See what happened when you play in people's face? Listen, he was playing in his face because, you know, we don't need you. Remember, JD Vance was like, did you even say thank you? I want to know if JD Vance gonna get his ass on TV and tell a boy over there thank you after he give you the information to survive a missile attack. Okay, I want to know if you're gonna tell him thank you, but don't get it confused. Don't get it confused, because the Iranians got way more shit than the United States. Yeah, I was gonna say something else, but no. Because like I said, it seems like those trillions of dollars we spend every year on our military has not been spent right. If we're already at a point, okay, if you think about the wars and when they started putting women in factories to, you know, to build this and do that, we are only a week in and they are literally talking about mandating ammunition factories here in the US to produce ammunition for them. We spend trillions of dollars a year. Where is the bullets? Where are the guns? Apparently the icicles have them, which would probably be why the icicles need to be sent over there into war. Okay, I'm just saying, because where are the bullets? Where are the guns? Where is this billion-dollar investment? I'm really starting to think that these billion-dollar budgets, these trillion-dollar budgets, half of that money is getting siphoned off and sent to like to like Switzerland or other countries. You know what I mean? Because where are these budgets? We are a week in. We are a week in. Okay, so this shit ain't gonna end no time soon. I ain't going to war. My kid ain't going to war. Y'all kids ain't going to war. Let the icicles go to war and let the children of the maggots go to war. The House also rejected a war power resolution that would have limited the president's military authority in this conflict. This might be a let them eat cake moment. This might be a let them eat cake moment. So, like I told you, the Kurds, right? The Kurdish people have historically associated with America. Okay, they've cooperated, but they do not want to get into this fight at all. Okay, with Iran, with Turkey, they are minding their business. They don't want no smoke with their neighbor over a motherfucker that live in a whole other whole other side of the block. The earth is the block. They don't want to get in a beef with the neighbor upstairs, okay, for the bitch that lived there in a block act like she better than everybody else. We that bitch. We that bitch. Okay, in case you didn't know. Turkey, again, they have their own regional interests, and they got issues with some of the Kurdish people. So maybe again, that's why they're attempting to say that it might have been us, the US, or the Israelis, who attempted to make that bomb that was headed toward Turkey look like it was coming from Iran. It's saucy out there in the Middle East. It's saucy. And to top it all off, guess who coming to play mediator? Guess who's coming to mediate the drama? I gotta put you're right. Don't spam my chat or else I'm gonna block you. All right, cool. Guess who's coming to play mediator? Remember, we always the mediators. The Europeans are always the mediators, right? Guess who coming to mediate this conflict? If you said China, you would be right. This is just another stepping stone or another notch in China being the new world power. We kind of gave it to them in the last 20 years. And in the last 2 years, we officially signed off on it. While we're locking people out and starting drama and being racist and being fucked up all over the world, China is dropping all tariffs with everybody and working with everybody and inviting everybody in, and everybody's living off of fucking China right now. China is about to be the country. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I don't think historically China has ever been the mediator between two countries beefing. I don't think that's ever happened before. But now we have, because the Europeans don't want no parts of this, because the Europeans can't stand us. Canada said, deuces, figure it out. Figure it out, ho. Canada said, ho. So the Europeans said, well, no parts of them over there. The motherfuckers are stupid right now. We can't deal with them over there. We not helping them. If they, whatever. They was over there like, listen, whatever. We ain't got time for America right now. Okay, we don't want no parts of this conflict. Okay, because we had a resolution and that motherfucker ripped it up. And then here we go. Okay, so the only person who wants to who has any sort of power and is like, you know what, we're gonna mediate this shit, right? We're officially the superpower. We're officially that bitch, okay? Because we are the ones people call now to mediate beef between nations. Hello. So, like I said, they are stepping in. The guy, he was on his way. I forgot his name right now. He was on his way to mediate the situation. Okay, he's on his way to the Middle East so they could figure something out. They are. They consider themselves global diplomatic brokers. You gotta love the Asians. I keep saying the Asians are fucking hysterical. The Asians were for years. They were fighting this. They were like, leave us alone. Go away. Please just go. And then y'all wouldn't go. And then the Asians said, okay, fine. Y'all want to play capitalism? I'm going to show you capitalism. And they did that shit in like the 70s. And when I tell you, 50 years, they went from leave us alone to we and everything with everybody. Y'all wanted to play capitalism? Let me show you how to play capitalism. That's how the Asians roll. Can't even knock them because they tried to be like, please go away. For like 200 years, they was telling you, go away. We don't want no parts. But y'all just wanted it. Y'all just wanted the boba tea. Y'all just wanted to go over there. And look, now they done took over the world. They the superpower. When we was kicking kids, refusing to allow the most the brightest children on this planet to come into America to go to our universities, it was Asia, it was Russia, it was Europe, the rest of the European countries. It was places like Turkey and them that was opening up more spots in their college programs for these students because they could peep what was about to happen and they wanted to bring the best and the brightest. They had an opportunity to snag up this generation's best and brightest. And they did it. Just ridiculous. It's ridiculous that y'all allowed this shit to happen. But that's a story for another day. As we know, Beijing has expanded their influence in the Middle East in recent years. They expanded their influence all over the fucking globe in the last year. If they weren't already involved in it in the last year with all of this insanity that's been going on with the tariffs, China has officially taken the fuck over. They have their pots in everything, every fucking where. And everything, every fucking where. They're now the biggest exporters. They're now one of the biggest exporters for fucking Canada. And before Canada biggest export, the places they mostly exported to was here or from here. Not no more. They rather go and get a boat or go fly the shit halfway down the block. The block is the world. Keep up. Then get it from the upstairs neighbor. Again, and if the mediation happens and if China is successful, it solidifies, okay? It solidifies that they are the global superpower. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that after they pull this shit off. Because Orangina is desperate to get out of this shit. He thought he was just going to do some shit. not understanding the humanity of those people, and to continue to say that they just gonna lay down, it doesn't equal what we know about those people. Lay down. They ain't gonna lay down. They just ask you stop fucking with them. But they not gonna lay down. Nothing about them say they're gonna lay down. Nothing about them said they're gonna lay down. Like I said, this just like I said, power. How I started this video, I said that power shifts. I was about to say swifts. Power shifts quickly. That's what I meant to say. Because in a drop of a dime, as you are ragtagging for your orange boss and lying for your orange boss, he throw your ass under the bus, and now you might get charges. Orangina thought he kidnapped one president. They didn't do anything about it. So he thought he can go around being a bully. But everybody is not just going to let the bully trip them and steal their lunch money. Some people going to get up and be even smaller than a bully and punch him in his fucking stomach. And for whatever reason, he thought he can just go over there, unalive that man, and the whole country, the whole Middle East was just going to lay down. They're not going to lay down. They are not going to lay down. They will use every last person they have to lay Israel down, to lay us down before they lay down. They said, leave us the fuck alone. And you kept picking. You can't be surprised when the person turns around and punch you in the throat. Okay? Also, these new alliances. I told you about Turkey. I told you about the Kurdish people. They don't really get along, but they are not even stepping a foot into this Iranian USA mess. They know what side of the block they live on. And like I've said previously, I've said it before. I've said it like about places like Taiwan. I say it about, places that you don't think when it goes down, because at this point it will go down, not if it goes down. When it go down, all the Asians gonna lockstep. When it go down, all those Middle Easterns gonna lock down, whether they want to or not. They might stone the people who think they ain't gonna get down and still think they gonna still ride off capitalism and choose money over their people. They gonna put them that they gonna lockstep, and like Harriet Tubman said, everybody can't come with you. First person you need to pow might be the person you trying to free that's making it difficult for everybody to get free, and it might cause y'all to get caught. Sometimes you gotta understand that, I guess, like they say, all skin folk ain't your folk. And I think the Kurds, Turkey, all of them are peeping it. Even the countries that got bombed. I told y'all yesterday, the day before yesterday, whenever it was, I was here. When they bombed those military installations, I don't think there were any people from the country there. I think they might have been, well, this is my opinion, I might be wrong. I think they were, they knew what was going to happen, and they got all of their people out there, as they should. I heard about a lot of people getting deployed, a lot of people who were, pulled up for deployment in the last week. I find it interesting. I told y'all the other day, and I find it interesting. And this is it's meant to be. If it's meant to be, it will be. And it seems like it's meant to go down. He don't care. He's close to, so this whole place could go. But I love, let me not say I love, I find it very interesting that we spent half of last year, or they spent half of last year, kicking people of color out of the military because if they couldn't shave right or whatever, if they got ingrown hair or something, who gets ingrown hairs, they were kicking them out the military. I've never been happier to know that they were kicking and denying people who were able and willing to do that job and put their life there on the line for this country. Because again, we have been in every war this country has ever had. And we've actually been the first people to die in every war this country has ever had. But I digress. I find it quite interesting that they spent like a whole year trying to kick out people who look like us, try to make them not want to join, and now they're going to war. And the first 6 people that were, I was looking for that guy, that first guy, because again, historically, it's always been one of us. And it was none of us. I don't know what that is. Divine timing. I don't believe in coincidences. Because it's like you want to start a war like this to hide, to distract people from what people were digging up a little while ago. Starting a whole war to avoid the topic that he is been accused of being a pedolite. I don't know. I don't know. Let's jump into some of these comments. We have a donation. Happy Women's Month. Let's cha-chang chang. Cha-chang chang. Change the rules. Change the rules. Thank you for your donation. It is thoroughly appreciated. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, DC. Let's jump into some more of these comments. Okay, I didn't even know I was frozen. Here we go. Cha-chang chang. Russia invaded Ukraine because of the last administration allowed it. No, Russia invaded Ukraine because they knew this administration was going to let it happen. That's what happened. But go with God. You should go over to Russia and join the army. Or join the win over here. She said her son wanted to join and she had to tell him, no, you ain't. Yeah, not in this administration, not in this world, not when they started wars to hide their pedo-like behavior. What? Let the children of the people who voted for this whole situation, let them go to war. Someone in the chat said Europeans can't stand you. That's why they sent y'all over here. This is the problem. Y'all need to learn y'all old history. Jesus Christ, it's ridiculous. We still want them. We didn't forget. We're watching. All of this shit is attempting to be a distraction, but it doesn't change the fact that we still want the files. It doesn't change the fact that people are still going to go to jail. Okay? Jamie says she told her boys they were not going. Don't even think about it. Oh, she said her man's son about to go to boot camp. Child, listen, and I come from a long line of people in the Army. This is not the Navy, the Marine, like Korea. Like half of my cousins, Korea military. They retired now, but let these people, if that's what they want to do, that's cool. Nothing about the Iranians and none of them is the Middle Eastern people say, nothing about them say they're gonna lay down. Nothing about them say they about to lay down at all. And that's what when I say that you have to know your enemy and you have to be able to recognize the humanity in your enemy. Like, how did we think that this shit was going to end in a week? Did you not know he would be replaced? Did you not know he would probably be replaced by his son? Did you not know that that it's up and it's stuck? Did you not know that other people care about their parents? Did you not know that if somebody's dad is up and it's stuck forever? Did you not know that Iran is a part of BRICS? Did you not know that the BRICS nations control all majority of the natural materials in this world? And that's probably why they're trying to get bullets now. Because we're all the natural products to make a bunch of these things, satellites and chips, and you need natural materials that don't come from the United States or any country that the United States even pretends to be cool with. These minerals are in BRICS countries. Iran got everything that the Eastern world has. Russia, Asian nations, the Turkeys, the Jordans, all of that. It's up and it's stuck. And historically, I know you see they're Europe, they're white, I'm white. They don't fuck with you. No matter what Orangina says. That's why we had a whole Cold War. And before we had a Cold War, we had thousands of years, even when y'all was still over on that side of the pond. Thousands of years of beef, drama. And just because your grandmother, your great-grandmother, whoever it was, moved over to the Americas and forgot their history. Dumb people over there ain't forget their history. Dumb people over there could tell you what they great grandmother and father were doing and why they got beef with you. And why they got beef with these people and that people. Like they could tell you what they the greatest times 5 aunt that was unalived, or the grandfather, the great grandfather that lost his life at war. They know it's up and it's stuck forever. This shit goes back to bruh, this shit is like hundreds of years old. This shit bigger than us. You talk about they don't like y'all. They don't like y'all. Nobody like us. Well, but they don't fuck with y'all. And we knew this up until like a couple years ago. But then you get a con man from New York. And as somebody from New York, I know a con man from New York. And just because he talk a good one, guess what? All of us talk a good one. That's not a selling feature. That's just a New York City feature. Just because he was able to talk a good one and it sounded right, don't mean it was right. And now we're in a war. That probably will put Vietnam's war to shame. But some of y'all don't even know about that. But you up in the chat talking about MAGA. Good morning, everybody. Let me check the time. Okay. Good morning, everyone. She said he's so used to doing horrible things to people and then saying, I was just playing, but this time he messed with the wrong person. Exactly. Not recognizing the humanity of other people. You know what they say? A scared person will kill you. For real. You ain't just gonna be bullying around the block and think that somebody ain't gonna pop you in your fucking mouth. Especially when they got Billy badasses behind them. Like I said, I am not sure that I won't wake up in the next week. I would say the next month, and some shit done happened over in Alaska. I'm not sure. You shouldn't be sure either. It's up and it's stuck. And they ain't gonna stop. You thought I went through 9/11. Literally. I live here. I was on that bridge watching that bitch fall in when I was 20. I'm the one that had to walk scared that walking over the Brooklyn Bridge, it might get bombed. I had to go through that. My mama came home covered in such. She worked on the first floor of the World Trade. Y'all don't know shit about shit. It's up and it's stuck. And there was no real reason for it then. If that's if you want to say, it was no real. Look at what's happening now. Look at what we did. The world had to see our humanity in 2001. But we don't comprehend seeing other people's humanities. Whatever they was doing over in Iran, if they wanted to be, no shade, no tea. They fix their problems. We need to be worried about our problems over here. We have a pedo. We have a dude who is a president who is in the Epstein files thousands of times. We should be concerned about that. But no, to distract from that, this is what we do. And now, with other wars already going on all over the world, we done tapped the fuck in. With not even China, with not even Canada backing us up. Not even Canada. You think the Israelis is going to do it? I'm from Crown Heights, Brooklyn. I lived in Crown Heights, Brooklyn, the majority of my life. If you know anything about Crown Heights, you know the demographics are half us and half a Jewish community. They're not doing it. So we're kind of, even though they're shooting off missiles and doing all of this, they're not doing it. I don't even want to get into they're not doing it. It's not going to be them. I'm not even going to say, but if you live anywhere around that community, you already know. Nope. They're not capable. Not saying mentally, because they can do some fucked up shit, but they're not capable. They're not capable. So we kind of end this on our own. Well, the United States of America is in it on their own. Because not even Spain gonna hold us down. Europe is not holding us down. England, France, none of them. Germany, none of them. And Ukraine said, "Oh, we could show you how to blow the missiles up. You gonna kiss this ring, though." As he should, because look what we did to him. Well, look what the U.S. did to him when he came to the White House. He said, "You gonna kiss this ring, though." And I still wouldn't even trust him to give you proper information. Because why? Because they have no choice? Because you think the world has no choice? Because you're big, bad America? And we have $1 trillion military? But then we find out a week into said war that we might not have all the ammunition that we claim to have a week into a damn war. Or the natural materials needed to create said ammunition. Go with God, though. She said, most of y'all weren't even born with a Vietnam. I damn sure wasn't, but I know about it. I damn sure wasn't, but I know about it. She said, Jamie said, my grandmother always told me, don't let nobody piss on your boots and tell you it's raining. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The sad part now, Americans have to pay the price. The only way Congress or anyone will do anything is if they have American casualties. They won't even do it then. No shade, just tea. They won't even do it then. They won't even do it then. They won't. I'm so sorry to say this, but they won't even do it then. They won't. They won't. They just won't. The only way Congress will move is if the people, their constituents, make them. Because a lot of them are scared of Orangina. They need to be more scared of you. And when the masses start getting that, then maybe Congress will do something. And they never going to forget. Never. They still got beef over some shit that happened in 328 fucking BC. And they got it written down. And they go back and they be like, the fucking they got it written down. The Western Europeans, you know how we like to say we're Western civilization. The Western Europeans at least understand the beef. Because they got their education. They know. A lot of these people over here, people came over here through Ellis Island and they forgot. Forever. This goes back to, this shit goes back to, Greek and Roman crazy. This shit goes back. It ain't gonna fucking stop because you blonde-haired and blue-eyed like them. It was up and stuck when you was over there and you was blonde and blue-eyed. They don't care. They know you care, so they gonna gas you up. Like the dude, remember that dude? I spoke about him the other day. He wanted to move. He moved his wife and I think 3 or 4 daughters to Russia. Signed up for war. Because they told him they were going to put him in the office. They put him on the front line and he was out of here in a week. That's what they think of you. You went over there running from whatever. And they put him on the front line first day. They respect you less than they respect the Ukrainians they beefing with. Because at least them they cousins. You? It's been up and it's stuck for thousands of years. That's because your people was too stupid to teach you the history. Does not change the history. It does not change the history. Y'all really need to understand that. You really, 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 even when Rubio was it Rubio? What was speaking in that European summit that they had, or conference, whatever it was. No, because it's way deeper than that. They've been beefing on that damn continent for thousands of years. Hello? the same folks that ran planes into the... Thank you. These the same people that ran planes into the Twin Tower, the Pentagon. They runs it up. They said, stop fucking with me. We keep poking the bear. And then we just killed the mama bear or the poppy bear, whatever. When you could have just left well enough alone. But no. But no. Please. You see, I'm trying to keep myself together, right? Because y'all know we on teed up. So y'all know what I really want to say. But we are working to get it together. So thank you, DC. Canada ain't never coming. Ever. Ever. No, fine. You can't be. Yeah, war ain't no joke. War ain't no joke. And let's not, let me check the time. Okay, let's not forget they done defunded the VA. Who going to war? They defunded the VA, y'all. So after they send them over there to be traumatized in the fucking desert, they ain't even got no assistance to come back to. Baby. Y'all all better go to jail. We all going to jail. Well, they not coming to get me. And I have a daughter, so they ain't coming for her. But we Muhammad Ali in it out here, out this bitch. Okay? We Muhammad Ali. Our sons are Muhammad Ali out this bitch. Okay? She said, bingo, and they will not budge in the right direction. He should have been from starting this without Congress approval, war crimes. Absolutely. But like I said, until they run down on the constituents run down on their Congress people and make them more afraid of them than what Orangina might do or what the maggots who don't even might do, none of this shit is going to change. I understand feeling fear for your life, right? But when you take a stance, when you become a congressman, a senator, just like, you know, when you become president, or should be when you become president, or like when you join the army, there's an apple on my table. Don't ask me how I got there. You're kind of also putting your life on the line for your community. Like Elizabeth Warren, where they ran up in her house and clocked her husband in the head with a hammer? I'm sorry for her husband, but these things may happen. Just like you signed up for the army, you thought you was just going to cheer your little 4 years, and now, boom, you tossed into a war that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. You know, these Congress people, and I get it. Somebody, if you feel like, or because they saying, you know, lives are being threatened, their families' lives are being threatened. If you can't put your life on the line to do what's right, you shouldn't be a congressperson or a senator. You have to be able to put your life down, or be willing to put your life on the line for this shit. Because it's the world. It's our country. You supposed to ride in on the motherfucking I was watching y'all know I love history. I'm a weirdo like that. Well, it's not weird, but right now I'm kind of stuck on uh Queen Mary and Queen Victoria, right? I'm having a little thing with them right now because they were fucking crazy. But I've been, watching they ran in. Queen Mary rode in to the battle. She wasn't sitting up in fucking Mar-a-Lago at a fucking fundraiser. She rode into the battle and battled. The senators, that's the title that you have went out for. In Rome, you might have lost your life. You give your life to your community. Your president should give his life for the country. Your senators and and reps should be willing to give their lives for their fucking constituents. Or else go sit your ass back home. I got to get up out of here. We got another dope. Thank you so much. Cha-chang. Thank you. Change the rules. Thank you, DC, for your donation. It is thoroughly appreciated. They just stopped telling this generation. Biblical beef. The shit go back. Like watch them old movies, them old the 300s in them. This shit go back, and y'all here thinking they give a fuck because you're white. Don't give a fuck. Did y'all give a fuck about y'all being white when y'all was burning them women at the fucking stake? Y'all didn't give a fuck, right? Y'all didn't care. They don't care. They don't care. They can look at you and tell what kind of white you are, and they gonna get you for their 10th great grandmother. Okay. You're welcome. I tried to, so we don't have to be obsessed with it, but we gotta still know what's happening. Gotta wrap this week up with the foolishness. We have a lot of good comments. She says she's trying to move to the backwoods. All right, ma'am. That sounds like it'll be a nice garden back there. They're coming for Orangina and probably don't care who they take with him. The whole administration needs to go. They are coming for that ass. They are coming for that ass. And we stormed a country. We stormed a country and snatched a president not even 6 months ago. We stormed a country and snatched a president. They have the whole world on their side. Whether they fuck with Iran and their nuclear shit, besides that, the world is on their side. The world. Even the Western Europeans who like, damn it, why you got me taking Iran's side? The world is on their side. The world wants to get rid of you. The world, the globe. It doesn't look good. She said, I love Spain response. Spain was like, you're not in NATO. We can't help you. I'm like, yo, everything you did coming back for that ass is just, it's just the cherry on top, because why? And that's what everybody else keep thinking. But why would you even expect any help? Remember, you better than ever. You told the world you ain't need them. You better than everybody. What y'all do? I keep y'all safe. Keep yourself safe. Now they like, keep yourself safe from them people. They like, look, this is the first time the Western Europeans have not been the Persian targets. They're sucking up. They know they up next. But they gonna let them ride on your ass if that's what need be. They know, because again, they know their history. Okay, their grandmamas and shit speak to them about what happened to her grandmother and her grandfather and whatever. Yes. That's why I told you I got stuck on the damn Mary and Victoria. They gonna get it. Not one bit. Not one bit. These people have been around for thousands of years. Their beef was thousands of years old, older than this country. Their beef is thousands of years older than this country. And this country got sent the who were the least adequate in their country. They don't give a fuck about this country. Oh man, they could never do this to Europe. They know better. They just know better. She said, "There, true. Ooh, 5 bedrooms." She said, you gotta laugh at the crazy ish. It's like, listen, you have to. Oh crap, it's about to be noon. I gotta go, y'all. My class starts in a minute. I'm here to leave. All right, I gotta go. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. I'll be dropping videos and shorts over the weekend. I'll be back Monday with our next live. Again, we go live Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and on Tuesdays and Thursdays I drop videos. Okay, so I'll see you live Monday. I might do a members only live this weekend, depending on how I'm feeling, but nonetheless I will be dropping videos this weekend, so look out for those. And as always, I hope you live your life like it's golden, because there's no other way to live it.